They say numbers never lie, but maybe that's the biggest lie of all. What if the devil's not red-skinned and horned, but hidden in the way digits dance patterns that whisper promises, codes that tempt, sequences that curse? The rumor goes back further than church pews and Sunday sermons. In the dusty corners of Mesopotamia, priests scribbled numbers into clay, believing every tally mark had a spirit. The Babylonians noticed how 7 was everywhere: planets, days, gates of the underworld. The Pythagoreans swore numbers weren't just math, but gods themselves. But then came the darker twist. That numbers, if read the wrong way, spelled not order, but corruption. Take 666, the infamous number. The Book of Revelation calls it the mark of the beast, but it's also just arithmetic. Gematria letters turned into sums. Back then, every name could be boiled down to a total. Maybe John's warning wasn't prophecy at all, but a code pointing to an enemy hidden in plain sight. If the devil has a name, maybe he's hiding behind his math. Fast forward a couple thousand years, and we've got computer-coded cathedral built of zeros and ones. Every website, every bank account, every heartbeat on a monitor is nothing but numbers strung together like beads. And here's the scary thought. What if some sequences aren't neutral? What if there are demonic numbers patterns that crash systems, twist algorithms, make machines misbehave? There's already talk among coders about cursed lines of code. A single typo can unravel an entire program. But sometimes the bug seems intentional, like a phantom hand nudging. A number appears in the wrong place, and suddenly the whole thing collapses. Take ultim hexes. In hexacircles not, because they re hexadecimal, but because they feel hex. And think about prime numbers, those stubborn, indivisible loners. They're beautiful, infinite, and yet, for cryptography, they're the backbone of security. But what if a hidden pattern is buried in primes? Not one we celebrate, but one that could unlock every code on Earth. The mathematician who finds it wouldn't just be brilliant, he'd be cursed, holding the devil's master key. Stories circulate about unlucky numbers. 2, 13 floors missing from hotels. The Chinese fear of 4, because it sounds like death. Gamblers whispering about the cursed roll of snake eyes. Skeptics say superstition, but superstition always grows from seed. What if those numbers carry frequencies we can't see? Vibrations that tilt fortune toward ruin. Now imagine a monk in the 12th century, bent over parchment, who discovers that certain equations summon not answers, but visions. The square root of -1, for example, leads nowhere real, it's imaginary, yet our entire modern world runs on it, from quantum physics to your phone's circuits. What if imaginary numbers aren't just placeholders, but openings, tiny cracks, where strange things peer through? And maybe the devil's code isn't one number, but recursioned away, fractal spiral forever. The way infinity hides inside the simplest math. A pattern repeating so perfectly it becomes hypnotic, drawing the mind deeper, pulling the soul like a riptide. That's temptation in pure form. Not lust, not greed, but endless fascination. Picture a scientist today, poring over endless strings of digits spat out by a particle collider. Late at night, coffee cold, eyes raw, he notices a sequence. It repeats. Not randomly, but with intention, like a message. He writes it down, follows it, and it keeps going, spelling out symbols that shouldn't exist. At first, he laughs it off, but then the symbols form a face, and then the face speaks, not with a voice, but with more numbers. That's the devil's bargain. Once you start listening, you can't stop. Maybe that's why so many geniuses lose their grip. They chase the code too far. Jadel, Cantor, Turing Bay, all touched infinity and cracked a little. The devil's trick isn't fire and pitchforks. It's a puzzle too sweet to resist, a sum that promises to solve itself if you just give one more night. One more year, one more life. And if numbers really are the foundation of reality, then the devil doesn't need to hide in caves or flames. He's everywhere, already in the tick of your clock, the price tag at the grocery store, the digits on your phone. The devil's code isn't written in blood. It's printed on every receipt, etched into every equation, woven into the binary heartbeat of the internet. So next time you see a number repeat 1111 on a clock, 333 on a license plate, 666 in a receipt. Total, ask yourself, is it coincidence? Or is it the devil tapping on the glass, reminding you that he's not in the shadows at all, but in the arithmetic we live and die by?